Hello Aries friends, I'm Annie Botticelli and welcome to my Aries August 2023 Astrology Horoscope Forecast. This is for you if Aries is your sun sign, if Aries is your moon sign, or if Aries is your rising sign like me, or any other Aries placement that you're listening for. What I'm going to talk about here is part of your astrological picture. And if you're a very late degree Aries friend, so birthdays like April 15th through the rest of the sign, or degrees like 23 degrees or so through the rest of the sign, then I suggest you additionally listen to my Taurus report, since both the Aries and Taurus readings will have pieces for you very late degree friends. I'm calling the theme of this month August Bursts with Awesomeness for Aries. And as an Aries rising, I'm very excited about this. If you've listened to my July report, you've got a little bit of insight into some of the pieces here. But we're going to get into more information. You can also go back. I did do some deep dive into Venus retrograde in the July report, which you can access either through searching for it or through, is it going to be on the playlist anymore by the time you listen to this? It might be, depending on when you're listening to it. So at the end of this video, there will be a playlist that you can connect with, and I have a bunch of stuff for Aries there. But either way, we're going to go into a lot of information. My intention for this month, or for always, for my work, is to help you have the best month possible, period. And by understanding the energetics of the stars, you can align with the natural rhythms and make things much easier and more fulfilling, make the most of the opportunities, and better understand any challenges. On the plus side, we still have a break from eclipse season. April and May into June had a lot of intensity, especially for Aries, that back moon eclipse in April started this new Aries Libra eclipse cycle, and September, October into November, we're going to get back into that. And it's not that changes aren't happening now, because they certainly are, but there's an intensity that comes with the weeks and months around eclipse, like the 4 to 6 weeks before and after each eclipse, that tends to just kind of get a little more calm or in integration mode. You might be having a lot of aha moments, a lot of important breakthroughs still occurring in July and August in between the heated spots of the eclipses, but we are having a little bit of a break, which I'm sure you will appreciate, because we're going to get right back in it here pretty soon, and you'll be feeling that. We all will. Okay. So something else to know about this month is we have more salty aspects compared to sweet ones. We do have lots of sweet aspects this month, but we've got more salty ones, which means the planets aren't getting along. There are nuisance arguments in the planets, in the stars, and we just got some road bumps we have to get through. Aries people don't really like road bumps. We like to just go straight and not have any hindrances, but we also are pretty good at blazing and blasting through hindrances. But some guidance for this month includes maybe just slowing down a bit, because road bumps are less jostling when you're going slowly and when you know they're there. So that's why I'm telling you. Okay, so let's just go right into my favorite awesome, the things that August is bursting with awesomeness for Aries. Just go right to that. We've got the Sun, Lilith, and Venus all in Leo. Whenever we've got planets moving through Leo or Sagittarius, they make a 120-degree angle with our Aries placements, which is the most favorable in all of astrology, called the trine, that can deliver goodness and awesomeness right into our lap, either for doing not a damn thing or from doing something and it working out really well. Okay? So things can be delivered to you without you doing anything for them. But since we've got a double line of energy from the past with Mercury and Venus retrograde, we'll go into dates and more info about that in a minute. There are chances that blessings can come from the past in a big way. We also have 2 fire trines this month, and we'll get into that too, but just, there's a fire frenzy still occurring, and this happens every year around this time. This is a creative hot spot for Aries. Very good advice I can give you, definitely from experience of tracking this, is that you're going to want to be in a place where you can have some creative freedom and creative flow, like clean your desk off, get some, whatever your modality is, get ready to have creative insights and creative drive and inspiration, because it's very likely going to be just pouring out of you this month. And whether you're creating something practical, like for your job or for a business, or whether you're creating just for art's sake, it doesn't matter. And it's all possible at this time, and it will be all supercharged. Okay, so just look out for that awesomeness, the sun bringing warmth and vibrance and certainty and security underneath a web of a lot of unsure things, right, that we have going on in the world at any given time. That's a beautiful blessing. And then the sun and Venus are both going to trine Chiron, which is in Aries. So that can give extra blessings to healing your physical wounds or physical issues, self-esteem issues, and also bring extra love and light to your romantic sector, your true love, child relationships, your inner child. So all of those are on the table for extra special healing and juiciness at this time. We always have to remember that since Aries has what's called a natural chart, which means that when something is moving through the sign of Leo, it's also moving through the house of Leo for Aries, okay? So that means there's extra intensity and oomph and potentials behind those manifestations. So all of this is giving us a chance to really have a massive amount of fun, because this is the sign and house of fun, hobbies and pleasures and creative pursuits, acknowledgement for our unique expression, and love and romance. And since we've got stuff coming back from the past, zest from the past can return. Yes, it's true that challenges from the past can return with both Mercury and Venus retrograde. But because it's making a nice angle for us, it increases the odds that we're going to be able to have blessings from the past. And any challenges that come up, it increases the odds that we can quickly convert them into beautiful blessings, okay? Lilith, which can rule some repressed feelings about things. We might be having some repressed things going on. So this gives an outlet for things that have been under the surface to come out in a way that's not going to cause more problems. This is one thing that we know about Aries. I'm not putting us down. This is just the facts. Sometimes we're not always completely gentle with our delivery of how we feel about something, especially if we've been holding it back for a while, right? Now, if you have other placements that go against this and you're different, then great. But just pure Aries energy will tend to be very direct and, can get pretty hostile if provoked. So, but having this Lilith energy in a nice angle is just a cycle where we can coax out repressed feelings in a safe way that's not causing more ancillary issues. So one way we can take advantage of this is if we've got problems or concerns with something, write them down, get them out instead of directly saying them to a person or even necessarily talking to them about, I'm not going to say don't talk to somebody else about it, but if we want to contain venom, we can put it onto the paper and then clear it out before we have a conversation. So we get like those first thoughts that we have that aren't necessarily the best things to say, get those out first before we try to interact about them. And it gives us a better chance of having things be smoother. If you haven't already taken my very good advice and gotten this book called Marriage of Spirit, I don't make any money from you getting this book. I just have used it so regularly over 20 years, and it helps me so much that I love you. I want you to be happy. That's what this is all about, So this book you can get it on Amazon. It's called, or you can order it through any bookstore, I believe. It's called Marriage of Spirit by Leslie Temple Thurston. If you miss that name or title, just rewind it and just replay it till you get it. But you can read the book if you want to, but the exercises in section 2 are basically designed to clear karma without having to physically experience it. Now, wow, doesn't that sound fantastic? She's got these, she downloaded these spiritual written exercises that basically help you to clear out karma without having to go through the experience of it. Now, only Infinite Spirit knows what we have to go through and what we don't, right? But, you got to admit, over time, sometimes we go through some things and we think, was that really actually necessary? Could that have been avoided? And in some cases, it could have been, right? So this exercise can help with that. And Lilith is telling the story of resources like this, helping us to clear ourselves of poison, heal our gallbladder, heal our livers, where resentment and anger, liver rules anger energetically and gallbladder rules resentment energetically. And clear those things out. I'm not making a medical diagnosis. These are energetics. Sometimes they reflect in medical reports or labs. Sometimes they don't. But either way, sometimes we're feeling more angry because our gallbladder is under stress from fatty foods, or it's under duress because we have this resentment that has to be let out. So either way, this is a time where this can happen, and it can help you to feel a lot better about things and improve all of your relationships and help you to have more fun. So I love this for us. I'm very excited. All right, now Venus going in retrograde in fellow fire sign means Venus goes forward, it makes a trine with Aries placements. Then it goes retrograde, it makes another trine. Then it goes forward again and it makes a trine again. And this is happening for almost all Aries placements. This will be exact, 8 to 28 degrees. I always like to give a margin of a few degrees in either direction because, things echo off beyond where they are. So we'll say very clearly, like 5 or so degrees through the whole sign of Aries is going to get like this triple trine energy. And those of you who are in the first 4 days, you might get some kickoff from that, but even if you don't, it doesn't matter because these planets are speaking your language and nobody's going to be left out of this. But if you are in that zone, so basically like March 27th through the rest of March and all of the April birthdays, you're going to get triple kisses from Venus retrograde over the course of July through October. Wow. Venus rules love and beauty and comfort and sustenance and self-esteem and money and finances. So who doesn't want triple kisses there, right? Okay, I can't remember if I mentioned now. Okay, so the Sun and Venus are going to trine Chiron on the 12th and 14th. I did mention that. So those are extra special healing chances that we can have at that time. All right, so as much as I would love to talk endlessly about all the potentials of Venus in Leo, there are 2 things I want to address with the retrograde, and then I want to move on to some other things. So retrogrades are sometimes not a great time to do certain things, and definitely get educated with my resources. I've got tons of free stuff on Venus retro. The more you know about it, the better you can have as a transit. But there are also amazing things to do during retrogrades, like relaxing and being on free flow with no agenda. Like deep indulgence in hobbies and fun, like reaping the rewards of past work and revising things previously pushed out, or taking calm action on unfinished business, or anything that's giving a little squeak for attention that you can prevent becoming like, a landslide. It's amazing for inner work, like the marriage of spirit work. It's awesome for experimenting. If you want to do something bold, try to do something bold that has little or no downside and every upside, or is easily reversible. So like if you want to dye your hair red, for some people that's a crazy thing, okay? Dye it with something that washes out. So like doing bold things and experimenting is amazing, especially with appearance and different kind of things at this time. But high stakes things that could go terribly awry, like surgeries, those are not the best for Venus retrograde. But finding a perfect, product that can really help your physical beauty to shine, or getting some clothes that you can afford, you really need to look at my Venus retrograde. Actually, by the time Venus is retrograde, I will have a series of shorts up. You can watch my Venus do's and don'ts video and see the blog. Those are all linked in the notes underneath the video or podcast. So there are a lot of, I just don't have time to go into all of it because there's so much to know here. But just know that experimentation is better than doing something permanent and irreversible, or that would take a long time to reverse. Okay, so some special opportunities that come up when Venus is in retrograde in Leo can also be centered around children and creative projects. So just kind of know that there could be a chance to restore some magic back to your relationship with your children, or understand better what could be interfering with you having kids if that's what you want, and making some really good strides along those lines. All right, so there are other things to talk about here, so let's just get into it. We also have a lot of Virgo energy. The combination of Leo with Virgo, they're very different, means that all of this exuberance of Leo has this nice form to channel into. Mars and Pallas Athena and Mercury in retrograde is really working to help us get super discerning. The storyline is corroborated by Jupiter moving through Taurus, through the sign and our second house as well, which is the Taurus house. So we have short and long-term storylines of trimming the fat, guiding excess energy into a few chosen outlets instead of dispersing them through a bunch of things. And so we're getting very discerning with our energy. We're getting very discerning with our boundaries. We're getting very bold in some ways with our boundaries. And we're really reconsidering our health and going back to things that worked. And you could see either health issues come back that were a problem that need to be addressed, or you could see your health be restored magically. Also, things going on with animals. Very notable 6th house Virgo things can come up, office place stuff. It's a really good time to get things cleared up, files cleared out, things organized in your office, do some restructuring there. August 1st, August 16th, and August 24th, we've got 3 trines with Mars and Virgo. They're Earth trines. Jupiter on the 1st, Uranus on the 16th, and Pluto on the 24th. Jupiter bringing expansion, Uranus bringing surprises in a good way in this configuration, Pluto bringing regeneration and revitalization, all in the earthly plane. And a lot of this having to do with your health and pets. So maybe going back over some of these things can bring some good news there, some extra special blessings. And this is also in the house of your work, home, careers, father figures. Some extra blessings can come throughout the month. And we do also have a Mercury trine in Earth, which is just, again, telling this story of our finances and our physical experience and our tangible security getting shored up in very magical ways. It could be an amazing time for booming business, especially if you go back to old things that worked and past contacts. Jupiter moves through Taurus from May 2023 through May 2024. I do a deep dive in this, by the way, in my Secret Star portal at anniebastrology.com, but I'll touch on some things here. Jupiter is the great expander. Taurus is the income house. Jupiter moving through can drastically expand your income, can also bring you some material things you've been wanting. And material could be something even like a solar generator, something where you're living sustainably. It doesn't have to be against an ecological imprint. It's just where the material realm is, it's our physical experience, and that can be anything from, like bling of any sort to like a garden. That's in the Taurus spectrum, but there's an expansion of that energy. And we're really feeling that get extra support as we have these shorter term Virgo transits happening. It's feeding into the storyline of this longer Jupiter and Taurus storyline. Now, if the money isn't manifesting yet, the seeds could be getting planted for future money. You might have some things you have to do to shore things up. You might have to get more discerning with your spending, with your savings. But in this year, you can really rework your whole financial experience and your whole security experience on every level. So that's pretty exciting and positive, right? So I've given you a lot of sweet days. Look out on the days around August 22nd, Mars opposing Neptune for some extra confusion. We already talked about how you can't really plan that far ahead at this time, and things planned for the future might get called into question in this month. But these days around August 22nd might have some extra of that deception, uncertainty. If you're not sure about something, hold off, because you might not have all the information. And that's coming from the retrogrades, and that's coming from this transit. So just really stay attuned to your intuition. If something doesn't feel right, it probably isn't. And if you like the dates that I give you, the ones to be awareful and careful of, my fave transits, the sweet and salty things that are going on, then you will love my free VIP community. I only send out 3 newsletters a month. They're all chock full of information and links to other resources that I've created to make the most of the starry opportunities. So you can go to anniehelpsyou.com. That's also the interface for all the free goodies I make, including my written horoscopes. And if you just put your email address and name in there, and also look in your spam or social promotion folders, because sometimes your email server might not put things right into your inbox unless you tell it to. But you can get all of the extra goodies, including my write-up 1 month early that has those sweet and salty dates and my favorite ones and ones to watch. If you love astrology and you want to learn and you love how I teach, then you will love my Becoming a Professional Astrologer Mastery Course. If you think I put a ton into my free resources, which I totally do and I always have, then you should see what I put into that course. I don't have a lot of paid offerings. Most of the things I refer you to throughout the reports are more free things. But this course is so comprehensive. And if you want to dive deep into yourself, into helping others, either for your personal development or to get paid from your love of the stars, I can help you to do that. You can benefit from my 20 years of being a successful entrepreneur, my 17 years of being a successful online entrepreneur, and, doing astrology for decades. Doesn't hurt either when I'm trying to teach people how to do that, right? So you can see that at beastropro.com, beastropro.com. You can also go to lumelife.com, lumelife.com for some free courses on abundance and wellness. And if you love my content and you want more, you can join my secret star portal. You can get deep dives into my Saturn and in Pisces report, my Jupiter in Taurus through the signs report, my How to Make Tough Astrological Transits Easier series, plus a year worth of archives and new content monthly. You can see that at anniebastrology.com, Annie the letter B astrology.com. I hope you have a wonderful month, and I'll see you next month. Bye.